you guys are really doing something different, bridging technology and recruiters, combining them. I think when I came in, I was like thinking the way it is going to go is like I'll have too many people, you'll have too few questions going on. And the one big lesson for us today is agility, right? I mean, how agile can I be in my process? If you cannot shift gears based on the changes what is happening from an organizational front, from an industry front, and the kind of technology what you're using, I think then that means that we're falling back. One thing when I observed the crowd is a curiosity and the kind of energy what the crowd brings in.
Did you find any difference in today's session versus like somewhere else?
Most of the event organizers are like, I'm an event organizer, I'm going to call in sponsors, call participants, I'm going to see my optics to see how much money I make and go. That's the agenda. But here what I saw a difference is like you're bringing in the community of talent acquisition and bringing that community of technical group who really wants to bring in live problems and solve it, and also have the discussion saying that, okay, from TA perspective or HR perspective, what is the issues we are facing, where are we changing, and from a technology perspective, what is the innovation we're bringing in.
Yeah.
That's the flavor. The intent of the community or entire club meeting was basically to solve a particular problem. That's what made a difference.
I just want to welcome Suhhas,
Thank you.
TA lead of Amadeus India.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for flying down from Bangalore and joining us today at Talent Club event and taking out the time to discuss and do this fire chat conversation for future. So let's dive in. Firstly, I want to ask you, how's today? You flew down all the way from Bangalore early morning.
Yeah.
Now it's 6:30.
Yeah.
How are you feeling looking back at today?
I think I'll probably start why I probably said yes for you to come here, because of the kind of work which is happening in technology space and bringing, especially working on your HR domain and more than in talent acquisition, right? That concept itself really that was a motivational factor, saying that you guys are really doing something different, bridging technology and recruiters, combining them, bringing up together and matching this and getting married both, right? And that is an important platform. Today there's many conferences which happens, but what doesn't happen is like two different eyes coming together or hands shaking up together to make sure that you're bringing in some beautiful product. And that was a motivational factor to come in. I think when I came in, I was like thinking the way it is going to go is like I'll have too many people, you'll have too few questions going on, and maybe that's what we're going to maximum end up within an hour time. What probably it happened is it probably went on for 3 hours, and the kind of energy what the crowd brings in, and also basically I like the combination of panel members, because you had Manas, who was the main person behind this tech space, who was trying to add value from a technology viewpoint, and someone like Jyoti, who was trying to put in from a mentorship and education and career point of view, and probably I was just trying to add from a talent acquisition perspective. That combination was really working well. And one thing when I observed the crowd is a curiosity to know things, and that's what probably I enjoyed.
Yeah. And do you often go to club meetings of this sort, or maybe HR
forums?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely an active participant. I keep going and visiting forums. I'm either a participant. I also sometimes be a panelist. I keep doing that. Yeah.
Did you find any difference in today's session versus like somewhere else?
Yeah, definitely, right. One is what happens is in most of the conferences today, their drivers, either there is a sales angle behind it, either there is a promotional and an advertisement angle behind it. So otherwise, you usually don't organize events, or else most of the event organizers are like, I'm an event organizer, I'm going to call in sponsors and I'm going to call participants, I'm going to see my optics to see how much money I make and go. I'm just like a person who wants to make money. That's the agenda. But here what I saw a difference is like you're bringing in the community of talent acquisition and bringing that community of technical group who really wants to bring in live problems and solve it for the future, and also have the discussion saying that, okay, from TA perspective or HR perspective, what is the issues we are facing, where are we changing, and from a technology perspective, what is the innovation we're bringing in.
Yeah.
That's the flavor. The intent of the community or entire club meeting was basically to solve a particular problem. That's what made a difference.
All right. I want to shift gears and go back a little bit.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you, as a child, did you know you're going to be in space of talent acquisition? I mean, everybody dreams of being like a scientist or like teacher.
Yeah.
What was your dream for your career?
I'll not probably go to child. Probably I'll start with my college days. I started with odd jobs. I love doing odd jobs like sales roles and doing promotion, branding, and everything. Then I realized that the only place where you can actually shift hats is the place of talent acquisition, because we are more in a space of consulting sales. And for us, we are shifting hats between HR, TA, and sales pitch, and also being a finance person who managing the cost for the organization, and also wearing a hat of branding. So many flavors bringing in one table. I think it's the only space I figured out based on my strengths is talent acquisition. And you are the front of the organization, right? So you are making a direct impact for an organization to grow, or you can also make a direct impact negatively as well.
Yeah.
So me coming from a non-tech background, I thought this is a space for me to be with, where you are always driving. And that's the space probably I enjoy to be with. And that's the reason I decided to be in talent acquisition.
So when did you discover this domain personally?
I think when I started my MBA's time, and I realized that, okay, there is sales happening, there is finance guys doing something, HR guys are trying to figure out what they want to do. Is there any role that where I can bring in innovation, where I can wear different conversation, where I can bring in my sales personality, where I can bring in my HR personality? Then I realized the only space is talent acquisition. Obviously, that's the time when we didn't realize the way it will evolve today. It's evolved. It's going to evolve. We always thought that I'm going to be creating opportunity or a career for people. That's where we started with, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the role I'm going to be to, where I'm really designing and helping people to match with the careers. So as and when we started evolving, we see there is a lot of opportunities which started coming up and up and up. And today we see talent acquisition is not taking orders to deliver. It's more a strategic business unit to drive business results.
Yeah.
I think that's where probably which helped me to decide.
Was there like a point in your career where you realized, was it like a turning point for you in talent acquisition space? Because a lot of people get into talent acquisition, but it's just a job, right?
Yeah.
But then it becomes,
Yeah.
I see the point of this.
Exactly.
Did you have such a moment?
Of course, right? Because when we started our careers, when we came to corporates, saying that, okay, our job was to saying that, okay, I have a position, I'm supposed to fill it, irrespective of whatever I do. And there are processes to just manage it and tell that this is what we have done. Probably the vision of looking as a recruiter was just near to hiring a candidate, nothing beyond it. You have a manager who's asking for a candidate and you're just going and getting from the market. Today, I think that shift has been changed. The why that happened is today, when you have these questions coming from the stakeholders saying that quality, efficiency, consistency, performance, organizational impact. And when you try connecting the dots today, and also the kind of knowledge that we are able to partner with the business units and say, hey, look, I think we need to rechange the decisions. We need to solve the problem in a different angle. The way we are you're looking at not just filling the role, we are looking at building an opportunity for a candidate. We are trying to look at making a product to work better in an organization. We're looking at way forward, not just filling role, rather than moving the impact of the organization in a very positive direction. So when you start tailoring up all this pointers, right, then you make sense saying that you're just not filling a role, you are basically building a company, culture, products, innovation, and the P&L part of an organization. Because today we are in a tech space where people is the value for organization. Irrespective of whatever technology you have, if you do not have to have people, you can't run anything. So the knowledge base come organization. So I think that's where we realized, probably I realized saying that, okay, we are just not hiring, we are actually building the company. So how do you start adding value to sensitize the hiring managers, to sensitize the business leaders, saying that where are we heading on to? We are trying to bridge the gap of market intelligence and the company intelligence together and say this is what the best solution is there for you. So when you start putting that hats towards us and trying to be a partner with the business unit, I think that's where I felt that we are adding more value, not just building or hiring numbers.
Right. And currently you are, leading TA for such a humongous company like Amadeus. Amadeus is a global travel tech company for those who do not know. And what does it feel like to be that person? Because just talent acquisition initial roles is very different from leading at that level, right? How does it feel like to be there and see organization from such a zoomed out perspective?
So I think when I was Amadeus was basically my aspiration. I actually started my career because travel was always close to me. Then when I started my career, I was thinking I should definitely work for this company in my lifetime.
Really?
So when I was just 2 years and 3 years of experience, because that's the time I learned about products like Galileo, and it can be your generating PNR, some GD global distribution systems. These are all products for travel. Then I realized, oh, there is something called product. There's something called PNR get generated when you book your tickets. Oh, I should be part of this company. You actually like the DNA of the organization, right? So when I was able to achieve after more than 15, 16 years of experience, saying that, oh, finally I made my way to Amadeus. And especially me coming from a company like Microsoft, for me, the organization gave me a lot of help, probably supporting me, helping me to integrate to the system. And the kind of vision, the culture the organization brought was really amazing. And what does it feel me today for is like, one is my company solving one of the most fascinating and happening problem today is travel. And today travel is growing like crazy, right?
Yeah.
And the
Post-COVID especially.
post-COVID especially, right? And today travel is just not about reaching to a destination. It's about how are you reaching to a destination.
Yeah.
So that's the trend which is being changed to. How will I get my cab in front of my home? How will I get around from the airport? And that's how it is. When your company is trying to solve such a big problem, and which has been spoken across everyone today, and when you're part of it, and when you know you're trying to hire top-notch candidates to solve a particular problem what we have, to build a particular product what we have, it really makes a lot of sense. You are also a user at the end of the day, right? I'm also going to airport, I'm experiencing the airport, I'm booking tickets online, I'm booking hotels online. You feel wow about it. I think you always feel, oh, my company is just behind this, and that's what you feel wow about it. And you always you are very close to the product as well. You understand product better. So when you have this connection with the DNA of an organization, I think you already accept the company and you start delivering it at your 100%. That's what probably I'm enjoying today.
And working at large scale is a very different ball game as compared to something like a startup or something, right?
Yeah.
I understand the maza of being in startup personally, and I have no idea how it feels like to be on the other end of it, where it's like a structured organization which is such a beastly size across the globe, right? What kind of challenges excite you that come with scale that currently you're experiencing and enjoying solving for?
Yeah. So I think I'm not referring to Amadeus here, just general big firms, enterprise firms. What is the best that we enjoy is like, you have vision, you have a clear vision where it is heading on to. You are actually designing a career for a candidate, and you're trying to manage the process with discipline, and trying to know why am I doing A job or a B job. Your vision is a long term, and you're trying to add value to the vision by getting a candidate to a particular career what you have in a company, and you see the journey of the candidate undergo towards the entire journey of an organization, maybe 5 years, 4 years, and see how he's been particularly evolved, starting maybe a campus hire to way he started becoming the lead, then technical guys, they'll start moving towards architects, they'll start becoming the product managers. And when you stand in front of him and say, this is what the person has built, and this is what the kind of vision what an organization had, we try to help a person to be part of it journey. It's about the entire journey. In startups, I understand you're trying to solve a particular problem and to achieve a particular goal A, but this is an ongoing evolvement which happens. You start with small, then you go beyond and beyond, and that's the experience difference between a startup and a big organization, enterprise organizations.
Yeah. And do you have any particular experience that was your most favorite thing that you have solved for? You don't have to take names of companies, just like in general, something that you worked on that's like really exciting and something you can share.
So I think two things which happened. One is when you do normal hiring and everything, and we were just getting into implement how do we hire a person with disability, right? And that's something close to heart because you want to really make an impact to the society. And we tried implementing into one of the best tech companies when I was leading the program front end and trying to get from numbers from maybe single digit to double number hiring. It gave me a lot of proudness because you designed the program, you implemented it, you sensitized it. Though obviously I will say this, without my company's help or my leadership help, I can't do all these things. But what matters is like you're leading by front. Though you have a lot of the ecosystem which is supporting you, obviously, without that I can't be successful. But what matters is when you go and implement it and you succeed in looking at numbers growing in double digit. And when you know this is the people I made an impact to. And the one which you leave the program and design today also when it is running, even after you left the organization, that's the proud feeling what you carry. And it's also confidence that what you bring in of implementing change. I think that's what probably I will love to feel always good about.
Right. And coming from AlgoUniversity, we are very excited to talk about, tech talent in general. We work with large-scale tech talent from across India and world. So I would like to understand from your perspective, do you see a kind of competitive edge that Indian tech talent has as compared to the global audience in general? And what is your experience in working with Indian tech talent versus from outside?
I think when I say companies like Algo coming to solve a particular problem, I feel the regional closeness is already built.
Mm.
So you really no need to worry about how easy or it may be difficult to be part of a region like if you're targeting APAC or in India. So being an Indian market and trying to see someone who's built in India as a product, it's easy for you to accept it properly because you would have realized that, okay, there's already certain things which is taken care when you're building a product. I feel it is going to be much more easy to implement, execute, or probably customize it faster. Maybe that may be something different, which if in case happening in somewhere else in the part of the world and you're trying to build in because they say, oh, okay, as I build this product based on my region, but maybe for you, you may have to customize. Maybe my tool is not ready for it.
Yeah.
In India, I think what I've seen a couple of products which has been coming up and something like AlgoUniversity, what I'm talking is like we already dealt with dynamics because we already worked, we have multinational companies we're working, you have an experience of people of vulnerability situations. You already taken care of those aspects. So I'm sure the product is going to be brilliant. The reason because we have not just been looking at one angle because we have been part of multinational organizations. We are already there. We know different culture, we know different style of operating model. So I know we're also serving different regions as well. So I'm sure the product will be enough to serve all the segments.
Okay. And like if you think about the current era of like AI and recruitment, do you see like the processes have gotten simplified, or how do you experience this new agent which is playing a role in the whole hiring processes in general? How is your experience with AI advent in general?
So I think I'm personally enjoying AI being in space. One thing for sure, it's nothing to worry that, oh, I should not feel that it's going to take off my job or something. What is AI is making me today is to become more powerful. And I am able to be independently run couple of way of working parallelly, not just waiting for one after the other. So for example, if I have to run maybe a search for a candidate, if I have to run a data analytics, and I don't need to really work around and see I need to spend 3 to 4 days, rather than I can just run it in an hour time. And also the AI will start helping me to look at things in all angles, which probably your lenses and vision is lesser. It will start keep assisting you and trying to help you, saying that, okay, move forward. I'm there to support you. Go ahead. I can give you and assist you on the ground level. So it will still remain as my co-pilot, but I will sit in my captain seat still. So that's what I enjoy the best.
Yes. And as somebody who is coming from like a tech side of it, we are also very excited about this entire era. And I think like it's such an exciting time to be in. And in Talent Club specifically, that's what we try to help people see, that it's not something to be so scared about. As long as you can embrace it, it's going to be like a fun ride in the future.
What I see as the changes is like your heavy lifting of operational activity will be taken care by AI. So today, for example, any given point of time, at least for 3-4 years before, any recruitment member in a day in and day out of his job from morning till evening, if he spends 20% on actually talking to the candidate or searching for a candidate or talent, rest 80%, 70% he's wasting time in either working on an Excel sheet or working on an ATS tool, which is actually not making sense, or is cleaning up the database, or is working on reformatting your resume, or building up a nice post to put it on LinkedIn, which I feel all this will go, and probably the recruiter will start focusing on the candidate piece. And that's what important role for us to do as well, right? I think that's going to help us to basically manage the efficiency and the quality in the entire process. So I think that's the best and interesting part.
Well, looking ahead now, you have become the India's lead TA for such a magnificent company. And what kind of impact are you looking to make in the next maybe 5 years or something? Where do you see yourself heading? And what kind of impact do you wish to make in this domain?
One is transformation. I think that's my first focus, right? So today, most of the recruiters, when you talk about junior member team, you all talk about everyone's major optics is to look into things. How many resumes should I submit? How many should I source today? How many should I submit? How many conversion happen? What
Yeah.
was the source mix? What is the cost efficiency I bring in? I think the transformation what I'm looking, this is more of a operational work which a recruiter is doing. I think what transformation I'm looking is moving from an operational to strategic partnership. So can my recruiter actually build a story to talk to a candidate and say, this is what the job is for you. This is how the career in a company where you're going to join. Can my recruiter start having conversation with my business partners and say, my businesses folks, and say, this is the gap what you have from a culture perspective, from a skill perspective, and let me get you a candidate who can really build that problem or solve that problem or build the gap of what you already are facing. And when I sit and talk to my end of the year with my business heads, I think I should have a conversation or dialogues like, I had 30% of my last year hires was hypo candidates for you, high performance candidates. 10% was something were really not doing great, and rest of the 50% are standing in the mediocre of performance. Now how do I uplift this statistics to the better way? Maybe can I move from a 20% hypo candidates to 40% hypo candidates? Can I reduce my 10% of bad hires to 5%?
Yeah.
And what is an impact I got it? Did I make an impact to you from what angle, bringing the right talent for you? So if I can start talking about this optics, if my team can start talking about this optics to the business, that's the transformation probably I'm looking out for. And we have to make sure that we give that confidence or trust to my business heads or business partners, saying that this person is not just hiring for me, he's solving problem for me. So whenever you go in the mindset or the advisor suggestions of, I'm going to solve your problem, that's the respect we get on the seat.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm looking forward to.
And if you have to talk about like maybe one important lesson or maybe something you've learned along the way that really helps you excel in your job currently, what is that one lesson? Maybe like a value that you strictly follow by, or some lesson that you really got impacted with that you could share with maybe future aspirants of this domain?
I think when the one big lesson for us today is agility, right? I mean, how agile can I be in my process? If you cannot shift gears based on the changes what is happening from an organizational front, from an industry front, and the kind of technology what you're using, I think then that means that we are falling back.
Yeah.
I think the one big lesson that we all have to carry for future talent and even the leaders today, right? How agile can I become today? How can I make sure I fit into the shoes of the organization, what we are talking about? How can I start leveraging technology to my advantage?
Yep.
How can I use AI today to make sure I run with speed and with discipline, both hand in hand? And how I can probably be much more innovating in my process? How to be more consistent, making sure there is a scalability plus there is a quality which has been going parallelly. I think these are the things that we need to start thinking about it and moving forward. So for this, one is obviously upskilling, and that's how agility means all about. And shifting gears of your personality itself, in a sense, maybe in a zone that you may try to want to be more aggressive, but in a zone that you may have to be more principally disciplined.
Yeah.
And those
Knowing
are the
when to be.
know when to change the action what you're thinking. No more we are in the scenario saying that this is what I believe and this is what I'm going to go. I think that's going to fail faster. What makes sense is like, what is it that's going to work in a particular environment? Is it relationship? Is it target? Is it culture? Or is it you just go on a target and I'm going to achieve and I'm not going to look into anything else?
Yeah.
All this optics is important for us to keep changing. If your lenses keep changing based on the problem what we have, I think that is what is required.
Yeah. And if you have spent this much time in any space, it kind of becomes your personality, right? At some level, you start wearing that around you. So, being in talent acquisition for this long, is there something that became you at this point? Like something that changed you as a person, and now you just carry that forward?
I think, see, fundamentally, we as a recruiters, we being into starting as an ICs and going grow, we always have this great skills of stakeholder management, and from a personality perspective, you bring in that storytelling skills, and you always go with that sales pitch, the sales mindset, the marketing mindset. That is something is always inherited, right? And but what has not stopped is like, I'll probably keep learning is like, how can I start shifting my gears faster? More the delay is more the impact. you rather probably I'll connect this story to my biking story, right? It's how it is. Like you plan to run on a tarmac, but suddenly you get to know that it's completely off-roading. So can I drive the same way in off-roading? No, you need to quickly come back to the way it has supposed to be driven. So I think that matters a lot for you today. So I think these two parallel, one is your fundamental, what you've taken up all the way, all the journey, that has to remain the same, especially ethics and relationship and your principles. This has to not change at all. That should be your foundationally a strength. What has to keep changing is the whatever the ask and the problem that is you're facing, and how do you solve that problem. That has to keep changing.
But is there something that impacted you positively being a talent acquisition?
Impacted me positively, I think I will probably being in talent acquisition, personal front, obviously I feel I'm doing great when it become as a parent, managing my family better. And I think and apart from that, you carry that in from a career point of view, you understand business knowledge. You get in the HR point of view, you also understand your legality of an organization, you also understand the branding piece of the organization, you also understanding how does a P&L really work for you, because you are in the conversation with directly with the head of business unit or a CEO of a particular region, and you directly interact and you understand that awareness. So today I don't think a person who sits in a maybe a technical space can get this awareness. Maybe someone who's sitting at a finance team can really get all angles of it. Today you're talking about your people, you also talk about your product and business, and third, you also know how is your company is making money.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
like a whole confluence of a lot of
whole confluence of a lot of things today, right? I think it's easy for you to really sit and understand where are we heading on to, what is your company doing, and I think that's the greatest knowledge that you're bringing in, right? Because though you're in between all these departments, but you gain all the knowledge what you need. I think that's what probably is going good.
So I'm very glad that you brought up the biking thing. I wanted to ask you, if you were not in talent acquisition,
Yeah.
what domain do you think you would have been working in?
Okay, I think I will stick on to designing adventure tours for people, and
You would still be in travel space. So
yeah,
are you
true.
like parking your life in Amadeus now?
I think so. That's what it looks like, and it's good as well if I do that. And I think I still want to be in the travel space. The reason because travel is something which will help you to change, give you opportunity to change your personality, because you're not you're being mobile, not in single space, and it's too much of learning for you. And you're very grounded. You're close to the nature. And if we are close to the nature, that means we are really leading a right life there, right?
Yeah.
So I always connect that piece. That's the reason travel. And when I say travel, it's not about just about luxury hotels and traveling. It's about being with nature and moving directions, understanding people and culture.
Yeah.
That's what probably I will keep doing it.
So finally, I want to talk about Talent Club. We are building this space with this goal that we want to bring together tech and hiring and have this cozy intersection space where we talk about how hiring is shifting with this advent of new technologies, and maybe people who are working in technologies can also collaborate with talent acquisition leaders or HR leaders and understand like really what would make sense to have in this domain. So do you see like this confluence area making sense to work on from your perspective? Why do you think Talent Club is like a good thing to work on?
Yeah, I think definitely if the first answer is yes, obviously it's working well. That's what I experienced today as well. And why I'm going to say you this because one, you have a domain expertise today, and probably we may not have the vision to look at technology. And what the technical folks having handshake with for domain guys will bring in the flavor of the technology vision towards it. A lot of times we wear a hat assuming we can solve a particular problem, but that can be a technology constraints.
Yeah.
Today we probably spoke about an example of how can a candidate start having cheating codes using platforms to bypass the interview process. So now obviously the thinking had started coming to me saying that, oh, okay, I thought it's a foolproof, and now I mean that's an angle that we need to look forward to. Should we redesign our entire interview process? And where if a technology can do A and B and C, how can I leverage that in my process? So if you want to have this vision towards the implementation, it can be process, it can be efficiency. You need to have that vision of the technology space very well, because you know tomorrow if you get into any of the issues of you need to solve a particular problem or maintain an efficiency, if I have the vision of technology, then I know where should I implement it. And there are a lot of questions which keeps coming, right? How do I manage my ATS tool? How do I bring in my database? How do I clean up my database? And how do I leverage my tools to reduce my work towards operational activity and start moving to a strategic activity?
Yeah.
When I know the technology can do sort out a couple of things, I know where to go and implement it. I'll have at least a hat wearing saying that, okay, if I bring in this module to a particular situation, I think my process is going to go much, much better. It's important for us to know that, because we also know where we are from a technology perspective, where it has been heading to. And we can also probably run closely with the tech, and it's easy for us to marry each other. The reason today what happened is, at least from 10 years, is like there's a technology and there is a process which has been happening. The technology comes and sits in your process. We still get to know, we feel that technology is not managing me, I am managing the technology. Ideally, it should be the other way around. Technology should enhance me to make it faster. But today, what's happening in most of the ATSs we work with, we are actually maintaining the technology. We're spending more time to work on a technology to make it look success.
Okay.
Because there's an implementation which has happened at some level. Someone has thought about something, and there's an implementation which has happened. To make sure the technology is successful, you end up spending more to work on it. Rather, it should be the other way around.
Yeah.
That has been happening exactly for a reason, because your technology folks and your domains folks are not talking to each other. And that's the reason the solutions is built some complete isolated. Maybe they're just aware of the domain, but are they really getting to the grounds and understanding the real-time scenarios? Are they bringing to the technology space and say, this is what I'm going to solve? I'm going to make my tech platform such more fluid or more vulnerable in such a way that I'm going to make sure it suits to all the conditions of the problem today you have. If that can go hand in hand, that's a brilliant product to come out. I think that's what you guys are trying to solve it. I think you will have enough data today for you when you're trying to create a product for yourselves.
Yeah. And I want to ask you, like, today, is there any one incident or one takeaway that is your favorite thing that has happened today?
I think one favorite thing, or probably a takeaway, is like we already see that in the family of community of recruiters, we already see that shift is already happening. So I think I met around 30-40 people on the floor doing informal connects. We already see that dynamics getting changed. So the future leaders who are taking up the heading functions like TA functions, they may no need to put so much efforts to do the transformation, because you're already in the game. And what matters is like how much do you understand technology so that it's easy to implement.
Yeah.
So that's the shift which is happening today. That's the great part to know, right? Everyone is trying to see what they can do with copilots. Everyone is trying to see how I can use my AI agent. Everyone is trying to learn prompting, and how can I prompt and train my agent to perform well. So everyone has already started thinking that. And for you, if you want to go with any new innovation to the process, it's going to be very easy for the next generation, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to really look at really lifting and shifting. They're already there. You just have to put the directions in the right way and they're going to follow it. I think that's the best thing.
Yeah. And you also kind of learned about the AlgoUniversity's hiring tournament,
Yeah.
the new age model that
Yeah.
we are building here.
Yeah.
What is your perspective on this hiring tournament? And like, would you vouch for these kind of platforms for the recruiters to kind of take a pick from? And like, if they're watching right now, what would you tell them about the hiring tournament?
I think we should definitely put our hands there, for no doubt about it. The reason, because today that is one of the biggest effort which goes behind getting into universities and hiring great talents from there. And just to make sure that we do not have so much, not to put so much effort, we easily pick a college saying that, oh, I'm going to go only to tier 1. I'm not going to look at next tier 2, tier 3 colleges. So if a solution can really come in space like this and come and say, hey, don't worry, we are there to solve your problem. We will do every efforts that what we can do. I'm going to give you great guys who are going to come, who's probably coming out of my tool and technology, what we put in place. You just come and assess them. I think that's the great platform to be with, right? So we all have seen job fairs happening. We all have seen college inter-college or probably inter-company pool campuses happening. But what we end up taking away is actually nothing. So if a platform like Algo is coming and saying that we are going to close all the noise what is happening, and I'm going to give you the elite experience of having the right candidates who are coming in, sitting on your application. Pre-screened, and it is actually done in a very scientific method.
Yep.
So I think we all should definitely experience it. maybe today I may not be in a situation to say how great the product might be, but if you ask me, should we at least start investing time to look into it? Yes, we should start, and we should definitely encourage these kind of products to happen.
Right. Finally, I want to ask, if we have viewers who are like the tech aspirants who are also watching, what would you tell them about the hiring tournament, and why should they invest it maybe like a Sunday to come here and participate in such a new age tournament?
See, one is you're also learning, saying that how is the filtration happening, right? And what is the strength of the technology? And unless you don't come and watch, you're not going to get an experience for yourself. So one is you're also looking at from a in-person experience, saying that what kind of candidates are getting into the application process. You're also going to experience the technology which is playing the major role to filter out better candidates for you, irrespective of the colleges they come out from. And you're going to also look at experiencing the output of it. So when you're getting the entire funnel which is getting created there, I think you have to definitely come and experience it, right? In that way, I think it's a good thing which is we are trying to solve. And today, this will probably take off some of the notions, saying that okay, tier 3 or tier 4 colleges, or colleges from a village perspective, I'm not going to go there because I may have to put too much efforts. I do not have time. I will take a safe bet of getting into known universities. I'll not take a chance there. By doing this, one is you're also making an impact to the students' community, saying that okay, knowledge matters more than the college what I'm representing.
Yep, absolutely.
So I think
Skill first.
Skill first. I think that's what we are also heading on to, right? Even into lateral hires. I think no more we are literally going up and saying I'm going to look at experience and then say X number of education and then I'm going to say yes or no. Today we are all looking at this is a skill what we need, and if you have it, then please come and put your hands to see what is that you can really give us an output perspective and what value can you add to the table.
Yeah.
I think it's easy for us to now connect that back. So, and it's also that motivation you give to the student community, saying that build, elevate, upskill yourself, irrespective of whatever is happening in your history, irrespective you got into good colleges or anything. What matters is when you're getting into the process of interview, what is the knowledge you're trying to gain.
Yeah.
And if you have a right technology in between that campus and corporate, I think that's the best thing to do.
All right. I think that's my last question for you. Thank you so much for taking out your time, flying down, and spending all of your day with us. And I hope to see you around in Talent Club community.
Sure.
And that someday maybe we take it to Bangalore and we'll see you there.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me. It was really a pleasure coming and interacting with all of you. I can see real gig work happening in your office space. I always wish I would have been in this generation to solve great problems, and I'm really excited to see the kind of team what you have, right? The kind of background they come in from, the passion towards driving towards achieving a particular goal and building a product, and especially which is happening in India. And that's the proud feeling what we take, and it's important for us to have this in place and encourage people, because then only we can probably add value from a country perspective, and also encourage startups like this who are coming in way and trying to say, don't worry, we will trust you, you go for innovations, we will build for you. And that's the support what probably we can, from an industry perspective, we can get in, and that's the hand in hand which can go. I mean, everyone is trying to solve a common problem there. So that's a great experience I had. Thank you so much.
And also, I would love to shout out to you as well, because I think a lot of initiatives that we take here with such bold, confidence is because we have backing of such new age recruiters as well, who are like, yeah, take your bet on this and we will still come there, support you. So a lot of Talent Club members do that with us. And so it allows us to genuinely go forward. So thank you for backing that idea, and it means a lot to us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.